Good morning, everybody. Principal Saraswat, special invitees of the class of 83, teachers, school captain Bhardwaj, students and staff of the Scindia school, parents who may be here, and all the other guests. In fact, it's been a remarkable experience today morning. It's indeed a pleasure to be amongst you this morning, a morning that takes me back more than 45 years. And I see myself together with friends shining our shoes for the Republic Day Parade of 1968. An entire undiscovered world lay ahead of us, and we were eager to get out of school and get on with the adventures of life, as no doubt many of you here are. Today the occasion is the same, but the world a very different place. Even the same words have a different meaning. Data was something we plotted on graphs. Today it's measured in terabytes and analyzed by computers sitting on our laps. Information was something we got from books and teachers, and we tried to remember it forever. Today we get it on demand from the internet, with half-truths and rumors. Data and information may be on the internet, but not knowledge and wisdom or character development. And that's the eternal engagement with our teachers, though in new ways. New apps and tools may change the techniques, but not the need for a holistic education that Scindia School is known for. As all of you know, Republic Day is a celebration of the day the Constitution of India came into effect. And the Constitution is a forward-looking document. It's a framework for the future of India. Over the next 3 to 30 months, nearly half the students gathered here will go beyond the Scindia school onto the next phase of life. Choices will be made and dreams will unfold. But remember that we live in an age of discontinuity. So be prepared for a life where you must learn to continuously reinvent yourselves. Life is all about the future. Legacies are built by influencing, shaping, and adapting to the future, not by spending time in the past. The same is true of our school and all of us. In fact, we now live in a time when people grow up faster but grow old slower. Most of you will live into the next century, the 22nd century. You will experience the world change more than it has in the last 500 years. 3D printing at home, robotic companions, telepathic communication, self-cleaning clothes, and other new inventions will all come to pass and become a part of life, even as computers and smartphones today are. Each of which will create new opportunities. Some from amongst you will address the larger issues of survival of the human race and our lifespans increasing to 150 years and beyond. Our teachers are preparing you not just for this year or the next years, but also for the century ahead. For I have seen that our basic character, formed in the school years, changes but little over a lifetime. Remember that we cannot plan the future, but we can succeed, no matter what the future. Let me share a personal story. In 1968, before the senior Cambridge exams, I went down with jaundice. Some suggested I take the exams next year to be sure of good grades. I decided to take the exams from the sick bay under the watchful eyes of a dedicated inspector. I did not get the grades I needed to get directly into university. So I focused on competitive exams where my grades did not matter. And that's how I joined IIT Delhi, a relatively new school in those days. After IIT, I worked in 12-hour shifts that I did not enjoy. So I decided to go back to studies for an MBA at yet another relatively new school. It was called the IIM in Calcutta those days. From there, I went back to the technical function that had no MBA graduates. It worked for me. One path led to another, and I found myself in Europe with Unilever. Amongst the many responsibilities, I was also responsible for Turkey. 10 years later, I found myself restructuring a business in Turkey, and my familiarity with the country helped immensely with the assignment. A year down the road, a huge financial crisis hit Turkey. Half the banks were bankrupted and millions of jobs were lost. It led to many changes, and I soon found myself running the bank that had hired me, which finally led to my current assignment. The dots got connected. Instead of living for 3 years in Istanbul, we lived for 13. Not only it changed our lives, but more importantly, it transformed the lives of our 2 children. You too will face similar situations. Just remember that each path leads to other paths. Each path is different, and never regret having taken yours. It's what we do as we travel along our road that makes our lives. And the poem by Robert Frost, written 100 years ago to this date, describes it best. I'm sure many of you would have come across it. So I quote from it: "Two roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both. And be one traveler, long I stood, and looked down one as far as I could, to where it bent in the undergrowth. Then took the other as just as fair, and having perhaps the better claim, because it was grassy and wanted wear, though as for that, the passing there had worn them really about the same. And both that morning lay equally, in leaves no step had trodden black. Oh, I kept the first for another day, yet knowing how way leads on to way, I doubted if I should ever come back. I shall be telling this with a sigh, Some were ages and ages hence. Two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by. And that has made all the difference. And one of those roads took me through Scindia school, a home away from home that made a difference. It built character and friendships. So to ensure the greatness of our institution, always look forward. And much like the Republic of India, marching into the future as it unfolds, and remember to stay relevant. Compete with yourself by being better tomorrow than today. By 2050, India will likely be the largest economy of the world, and you will be at the peak of your careers. Opportunities yet undreamt and unknown will await you around every corner, but you'll need to be ready to identify them. So make the most of your time at Scindia School. Let your imagination run and dare to fail. That's the best way to prepare yourselves to grab the opportunities that lie ahead. With that, I thank Principal Saraswat and the school for inviting me today, and wish all of you much success and good luck in your lives. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir.